before I start and talk about SEPC, like any one of you, if you have some questions, those who are aware of SEPC and its services, I would like if they can raise their hand and ask the questions so that accordingly I'll take you through the details about SEPC and also in what way we can provide the export opportunities and be a part of your export aspirations. Any one of you, like while we wait for others to join, I'm open to listen to the people who are having some queries or something which I would like to cover during the course of my discussion and presentation. I want it to be made more interactive. So, can like I would request, what was the issue we are facing? Yeah. Any of the participants? Am I audible?
They cannot say unless we allow them.
Allow them.
Anybody kindly raise the hand? Yeah.
Okay. Anyone
Yes.
one would like to say anything, any question or anything about SEPC? They had some questions in mind. You know, that will help me to actually take into account whatever I would like to discuss.
Yeah, Mr. Basi, you are unmuted. Kindly ask your question.
Dr. Abhay, good evening.
evening.
I wanted, in the last few years, SEPC has been more active in supporting the media and entertainment sector, specifically the AVGC sector, and they have put up the pavilion at MIPCOM. And so what I wanted to know was that how could we request for additional events to be covered under the MAI scheme through SEPC, and if there is a limit in terms of geographically or sector based, so that we know which events to suggest for SEPC to cover.
Okay. I'll just keep a note of this. It's a very important point you asked. I'll keep a mental note.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll come back on this. And thanks for the appreciation of the visibility part. Definitely, like in the last few years, we are trying to be more and more visible. But at the same time, this will not be possible without your active participation. I am talking to everyone. Like it's the industry for which we exist, and their participation is of great importance, great significance to us. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Anurag.
Mr. Anurag Sharma, kindly come forward and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi. So I'm a new member of SEPC, basically joined during COVID times. Unfortunately, never got a chance to avail the benefits of duty drawbacks for service exporters. I want to understand that after the scheme has been withdrawn, are there any new schemes or initiatives through which service exporters can be benefited going forward?
Okay. It's a good question, and I have a lot to say on this. I'll address this also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Anyone else?
Anyone else want to ask a question? Kindly raise the hand.
Hiran.
Yeah.
Abdul, just below.
Yeah, hi sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, Mr.
So-
Abdul, please.
Yeah,
ask
may
your question.
may I continue?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
please go ahead.
Actually, we are a service provider company in education sector, and we are also already working in India. And recently, I think you have come from the exhibition on education field. So
Yeah.
on the last, there was a meeting on 28th of April. I was there in that meeting, and you were mainly focusing on being a member of SEPC. Don't think for the getting the benefited and the lot. Just try to how to increase the business and get the help from the SEPC in respective field. So I just request to kindly provide me some details about whatever has been there in that exhibition and what is the things so that we can do and our company participate in the education sector. That is the point.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So, anyone? Mr. Gaurav Sahu. Mr. Gaurav Sahu.
Yeah, Mr. Gaurav Sabu, kindly come forward and ask your question, please. Mr. Gaurav, you are unmuted. Kindly ask your question.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's not around. Mr. Hiral Somani, can you ask your question, please? Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
अच्छा British women जाऊंगा. I'm excited about my new PC.
Mr. Hiral, are you there?
No.
I think he's not around.
Sir, I haven't, so this is Hiral Tamani speaking. I actually haven't raised any questions
Okay, I think mistake.
for now.
Yeah, Mr. Gaurav. Mr. Gaurav, you can raise, you can ask, or you can mention what you want to address. Okay, no issues. We'll take it up during the course of discussion. Now, you see, like the most important reason for initiating this exercise of weekly interaction with the services sector, exporters, potential exporters, new exporters, aspiring exporters, anyone who are in the services space and wants to export, anyone who are already doing exports, how to reach out to various other markets, anyone who needs the support not only in terms of market, but in terms of addressing their concerns. And of course, for everyone who are looking forward to some benefit from the Ministry of Commerce in foreign trade policy or whatever. Those things, whether SEPC, in what way SEPC would be helpful to address all these things, to provide all the benefits expected. We thought that why not initiate this weekly interaction, and that will help us understand each other and also help us design, help us formulate policies with the help of the government for the benefit of the exporters, aspiring exporters, or any startups, upcoming entrepreneurs. To those who are not the member of SEPC, but have been aware of SEPC as an export promotion council, I would start with the very mention that we are not a very old organization, it's a new organization, 16 years since existence, 2006, when we were established. You would have heard about a lot many export promotion councils, subject specific, pharma, chemicals, plastics. There are more than 20, in fact 25 plus export promotion councils. For services sector, this is the only council. Now the councils have been established by the Ministry of Commerce as a platform where industry gets connected with the ministry, and not only with the Commerce Ministry, with other ministries also. Because say, for example, Chemexel. I'm trying to give this example different from the services because services sector is a bit more complex. In Chemexel, say for example, that council was established long time back, almost 40, 50 years back. And that when that council was established, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizer. But the council was established by Ministry of Commerce because the primary objective of the commerce is to get the exports from India done. And how to address issues concerning the exports, how to address the barriers in trade. Line ministry is the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. The primary job would be to develop that sector. There could be, these were old school. But what happens when you are exporting or aspiring to be an exporter? Everything is also related to the value chain, to the development of that particular sector. Now, as a part of the mandate of the Ministry of Commerce, they may not be addressing that directly, but they will address together with the line ministry in order to develop that sector. Now, here, coming back to Services and Export Promotion Council, this is the only council where all the services sectors have been mandated, like travel and tourism, education. In fact, there was a question on education. I'll address that. IT, ITS, name any services sector, it is there. Medical value tourism, consulting engineering, consultancy as well, architecture, then market research, which is an emerging area. In others, it can also talk about HR related requirement overseas, relating to the skill sourcing. All those things comes under, and they are also separately taken care by various ministries. Now, being a part of the Ministry of Commerce through the council, every member gets an opportunity for addressing their issues with the concerned different ministries. This is one of the important aspects of the establishment of the council, and more so when we are talking about the services sector, which is by far more complex. Moving further, the councils act as a catalyst in export promotion. You're already like, as an entrepreneur, you'll be definitely doing a lot of efforts in order to get the market, in order to get your issues addressed, and also get the benefits from various quarters. On this platform, you get the council as a nodal point of contact to address everything. So if I have to summarize everything, I can summarize the entire set of activities of the council, how it is harmonized with the Ministry of Commerce goal, can be summarized in 4 different components. Let's go to that component one by one. I have a presentation, but I'll show that later. One is trade information. As a potential exporter, or as already an exporter, existing exporter, information is the key, has always been the key, will remain the key for anything what you want to do, whether in terms of having the idea of the market, in terms of having the idea of who will be your potential buyer of your services, who could get your services, information regarding the policy formulation or regulations in a given country. So all these things are covered under the service for trade intelligence. Now that is the important aspect, and that is one of the core area where Services Export Promotion Council has to deliver. There are constraints in the data that we can talk later on some other day, but the idea is how SEPC can provide you all such necessary information. Membership of the council or associating with the council, unfortunately, over the past 16 years or maybe 14 years, were only linked with one of the benefit provided by the ministry under ACIS. Most of the members initially got associated with SEPC only to avail that benefit. But believe me, that benefit was only available to the existing exporter who would be doing certain amount of business. There was, I think, 15,000 US dollar, limitation. Beyond that only, there was a capping. Anyone exporting beyond that would be, given that benefit, was given that benefit. But, we were meaning this, like the existence of the council was meant for something more. It was to handhold your entire journey from being a non-exporter to an exporter, from being an existing exporter to a large exporter, like that. So trade intelligence was one of the key service which should be expected and which the council should be able to provide. So that is one value addition we can do. The details in that I can present during the course of showing you the slide. Second one, which is again like as an exporter or as an entrepreneur, what you require. You need, after having the necessary information about any given market, what you require? You require, how do you develop the global competencies? How you develop the competencies for a given market in your area where you have some potential to offer the services. But export is highly competitive. You are not the only one to offer certain services or products, maybe. There are many others, from everyone. Say, for example, if you are targeting a market like US, entire globe is trying to look for an opportunity over there. You are only one of them. So how do you compete? I'm not here talking about price competitiveness. The first is, how do you elevate yourself to be even able to look at that market? You might be good for a different market, but again, how do you compete over there? The idea is, in the what best quality of the services can you provide? What kind of services are being offered by your competitors or potential competitors? In what way you can have some competitive edge? What is the gap in a given market? If you are providing IT-enabled solutions, or if you are into education, edutech or fintech, or whatever space you are in what way you are going to offer your services? Are you good enough for that market? Now, this is where we talk about a term called export development and export competitiveness. Most of the council don't focus on this, but my prime objective is to develop this service, and this service cannot be developed being in a standalone mode. Today, for example, I can think of certain services like audiovisual or something that they have got a good market in US, or certain services, education services, good market in Africa. But that could be view of the council, its own research, whatever. But the major input and feedback has to come from the industry. It's more like a two-way process, and onus lies more on the potential exporters. So based on your need identification, we can create a lot of training program, skilling program with respect to a given market. Unfortunately, these were not too much talked about earlier, and we are still in that process of development. But we have initiated a number of training programs, master classes earlier. We would like to continue, and we will be sharing some program detail, maybe in the next 15-20 days, where you can participate in those training programs. Some programs will be free of cost, some program would be on paid basis. Either you are a member or not a member, certain discount could be offered, because one has to incur certain cost in hiring good trainers and other things. But that will be taken up as a core activity. So export development becomes very important part. The third point where Mr. Abdul did mention something, and that could be of concern of everyone, is the export promotion activity. And believe me, like this is always the most visible exercise and activities which are noted, which are discussed. Every council does this, and we have also been doing it, but not in a very aggressive manner. We were participating in events abroad, like any exhibition. SEPC used to participate, but the participation was very much limited to one or two sectors. I can give the example. We participated in tourism related event, WTM on, but just 2-3 tour operators along with officers from SEPC. I'm talking about the earlier years. We used to participate in VIPCOM. Mr. Ankur did mention about it. We used to participate in VIPCOM, but it was mainly the secretariat, and of course, like industry were also there, but not as a part, as a under a bigger platform. Last year we did that. More than 80 companies participated with us. This time we went ahead in education sector related fair, JTEX in Dubai. We had over 30 institutions participating under India Pavilion. Now, I would like to emphasize this. When you, as an exporter, participate in any global event on your own, it is a participation in isolation. You will be definitely getting meetings, getting business opportunities based on your own competence, based on your own marketing skills, based on your own network. But when the council does this event, it becomes an India event. It becomes an event for everyone under that umbrella. And here we take care of brand positioning. When we take 30 companies or 80 companies from India in a given sector, here we are talking about India as a brand in education, in content development, or in travel and tourism, for example. You're representing India. The council is representing India, and there many other resources comes to your help. How the resources in terms of our embassies, they become more active, and you would have noted. So say for example, this JTEX Pavilion that was inaugurated by our Consulate General, MIPCOM. We were like MIPCOM also. At that time, our ambassador was traveling, but there also ambassadors have been coming to India's pavilion. Likewise, for any given sector, in WTM, we had our ambassador in London. He came, High Commissioner in London. He came and inaugurated it. So likewise, for example, another sector, engineering design. In Hanover last year, our ambassador came and inaugurated that. So, and that doesn't come with just ribbon cutting ceremony. It is more than that. They also do a lot of follow-up. They also create a lot of buzzwords in the market. They try to ensure that a lot of publicity is generated because it is India's participation. Ministry of Commerce or Line Ministry also takes note of it. So even if some of you might have got benefit like SEIS, or many of you may not have got it, but this is the value addition of participating in any export promotion activities outside the country under the platform of SEPC. One more important point, as an individual, as an organization, if you go there in any exhibition, you can have your pavilion by going for a simple afternoon, or depending on the investment, you can have your own well-created, well-designed pavilion as well. What happens when you participate with us or with any other council per se? Ministry of Commerce is giving certain benefit in terms of subsidizing your cost of participation. So your cost of the space becomes less. That is one. Second, airfare also, but there it is only for the MSME and mid-sized companies. If your turnover is less than 50 crore in the preceding financial year, you are given to and fro airfare economy class, subject to a ceiling that I can discuss later. So that is provided. But having said all these benefits, another benefit is that you get a very well made up stall, with a complete branding support by the council. The council gets support from the Ministry of Commerce and it is extended to everyone participating. And it becomes a kind of collective bargaining with the organizer also. We talk to organizer to ensure that more and more footfalls are generated. So they also circulate your information separately. That depends, of course, on the financial requirements or the kind of relation one can have with the organizers. So here I'm only talking about the outside exhibition. Now, this export promotion activity is our third important aspect. Two more things under this I must mention is about the business delegation. Other than exhibitions, we also have been mandated to undertake business delegation because we are multi-sectoral organization. So these business delegation would be comprising of education, healthcare, IT, anything you mention it can be there. And 30-40 companies can visit a given destination. Normally we choose 4 countries in a given market because of the cost of travel, optimize that. Once you travel to Latin America, why not come 4 countries? But depending on your own expense analysis, you can choose either 1 or 2 countries or 3 countries, or can be there for the entire duration of the BSN. Now that is totally coordinated with Ministry of External Affairs, with the embassy or high commission over there, and we also go ahead and appoint marketing agencies, which ensures at least 10 to 15 meetings per company. Sometimes it, whatever is committed, sometimes you may fail in a given sector, but overall, it is always the intent that provide you at least 10 to 15 focus meetings. Now, these BSNs have been highly successful in every sector. Unfortunately, for the last 14, 15 years, SEPC never took those business delegation. We initiated it last year. We took a very, a very good business delegation this year in Africa. We did it in CIS region, and we are planning for 4 or 5 more regions in the in this financial year. So we will be circulating those details with you. Now we have talked about 2 overseas events. One is the exhibitions organized, and the other one is a business delegation. The third one, many of small players, many of big players also may not be wanting to travel because of the paucity of time outside. Now, in that case, there is a concept of RBSM, reverse biasing, inviting overseas business delegation who are willing to take services from Indian service provider. And for them, we are going to have 3 major events this year. One is Sanjeevani, which is relating to healthcare and wellness. We are going to invite a lot of agencies from outside, from various markets, and our hospitals and medical facilitators in MBT space can look forward to engage with them and avail the business opportunities. That we are going to do in Cochin in the month of October, the first week of October. Another one, tourism sector. To attract inbound tourism, we are going to have a very important event. We are calling it Atithi, and a very traditional name, but a unique name. We want to create a global positioning from India based on our own image and our own thought and philosophy as Atithi Devo Bhava. So, we treat our guests as God. So, keeping that in view, we would like to have a very, a kind of wholesome package we are going to give. We'll be having almost every component of travel and tourism industry addressed. And we are going to invite more than 400 overseas tourist facilitators, those agencies who bring in tourists to India. So, and besides that, a lot of journalists, who would be writing about India, they are being called. So there you can participate, have a meeting with your potential business partners overseas, through whom you can get business. This will be an opportunity. And the flagship of every event will be global exhibition of services. Because of the pandemic, we could not do it. That we'll be doing in the first week of November. And then followed by, there we are calling more than 800 overseas business ministers. That will be a spread, that will also have focus on many other sectors relating to services. And then we are going to have, again, business delegation to CIS region, ASEAN region, this Latin American region, and Africa, Europe as well. So you need to be associated with us. The government is going to extend a lot of incentives to you under MAI. I'll have that short presentation for you. And the last part, which is very important, is enabling business environment. Means what SEPC can do in order to address your concerns, which could be procedure related, which could be policy related, which could be anything, which helps you to get a kind of favorable environment for cross-border trade. Say, for example, India is negotiating FTAs with various regions. In what way those FTAs could be useful to you? The feedback, of course, has to come from the industry. So we are a platform to raise it. And Ministry of Commerce and related ministry and your counterpart ministry in other countries, they're also going to listen to those, to take a note of those issues raised and concern raised, if it is raised through the platform of SEPC or through Ministry of Commerce. Because Ministry of Commerce, and then there are joint working group, joint trade commission, everywhere, a lot of cross-border trade issues are taken up. It could be recognition of certain services like architectural or engineering, where we talked about Washington Accord. It could be sourcing of nursing services from India. There are a lot of regulation. It could be related to telemedicine. A lot of regulations are there. How to go ahead. It could be sourcing of HR requirements in various countries. Just before this meeting, I got 2 details from Panama and Costa Rica, where our embassy has informed us that huge potential of skilled manpower is there in these 2 countries, and they cannot meet with their limited population and skill set. They're looking to source those HR needs from various parts of the world. So you have to avail those opportunities, whosoever are into that sphere. So this is where, and in what way government can facilitate, because in Panama there are a lot of issues. In when I talk about nursing, in case of Japan, a lot of issues. How do we prepare this sector? How do we facilitate that sector? Comes under that enabling business environment. Foreign trade policy, and that's where many of you are concerned about SEIS. It used to be a benefit under SEIS, Services Export Incentive Scheme, which were provided to the exporters, having done certain exports. But the scheme was very much skewed in terms of, most of the bigger players got the benefit because 5 to 7% of incentive as a part of, a duty based incentive was there. It's a kind of cash incentive, which you can sell or buy to source your need or to fulfill your marketing needs by selling it. Many of the tour operators and various other organizations like in hospitals, they did to buy their equipments. But the problem was that there was no ceiling. Some of the larger companies having, say, export turnover of, say, more than 100 crore, you can understand how much value how much money they would have got as a part of incentive. Nothing wrong in it, because the scheme was likewise. So what happened if the government has a purse of, say, 6,000 crore? Almost 90% would go to large companies. The small players were left without any incentive. And there were also number of issues relating to documentation and some other things. And unfortunately, many of our members who were in the small scale sector, they got the membership through consultants. And nothing wrong with that. But what happened? When we used to communicate about other services, I'm being very frank here and honest. When we used to communicate about other services being provided by the council, we ended up noting that, say, for example, if you want to address, say, for example, education sector, say 100 education related institutions are our member, we are asking them to participate in a given exhibition. We noted that more than 50% of institutions were having the same contact detail. It was a contact detail of the consultant who asked these institutions to take the membership of the council for SEIs. What happened? You were not getting informed about these activities because the consultant in that sphere, they may not be aware of the business opportunities in the services space, more particularly in the education sector. Likewise, we noted in almost every sector. And that's why this direct contact we are trying to establish. For consultancy, also there is a immense business. But unless we approach each other directly, you will not know the value addition SEPC can do. So SEIS almost got into that. Like it was on behalf of various companies, consultants were actually processing the papers and they were making it available. Of course, the entire benefit used to go to the organization concerned, but it was only one point agenda or only one focus. Government took a note of it, a lot of issues were also there, and a lot of round tripping happened. So government took note of it, and of course, there was an intent in the government that no such subsidy or no such duty script-based scheme should be encouraged in future. And that's why, and some of the scheme in merchandise sector also came into on the radar of WTO, being non-compliant. So NEIS in case of manufacturing, merchandise exports got transformed into ROTTEP, remission on duty. Likewise, there was a suggestion that why not move beyond SEIs and talk something like that. Something which can take care of your duty, taxation, which should not be exported. But in services that become very complex. For example, if you are incurring certain premium on your insurance of your employees, and that cost definitely gets built into your service offering. How do government find out a solution for that? Because premium is something that depends on how much cover you would like to give. So it could be X amount, it could be X plus 2 amount. How much government should take care of that? So it became, very much unfeasible formula, very difficult. In case of travel and tourism, we started noticing. In case of hospitals, healthcare, how much power are you consuming for overseas patients? Very difficult to determine. So all these parameters were evaluated. We did present something to the Ministry of Commerce on duty remission, the address scheme we called, but because of the monitoring, because of the accountability factor, it could not sail through. And meanwhile, there was a clear-cut view by our Honorable Commerce Minister that Ministry is going to help you in every way in getting the market access, in creating requisite infrastructure, in continuing with EPCG scheme where duty rebate would be given on your import of machinery, software, whatever. But there will not be any duty script-based incentive. They are going to give a lot many branding opportunities through SEPC. So SEIS scheme is gone now. And the idea is to enhance exports based on other support provided by the ministry. There has been a talk about membership fee and other things. I would like to tell you something. I'm having few papers from the Ministry of Medium and Small Enterprises, MSME, and NSIC. They have a scheme and they have signed MOU with us. Even for availing the membership of the council, they are going to give you, rebate of 75%. You just need to take the membership and reimbursement will be done by Ministry of MSME. In case of SC/ST directly, in case of members, you will just need to, anyone in that MSME sector, they can just send us papers of their membership. We can give the membership, and the amount which is pertaining to them can be claimed by us from the MSME. It's a huge benefit to subsidize your cost and get the immense benefit. There are benefit by Ministry of MSME in terms of your overseas exhibitions as well, which is also very much similar to what Ministry of Commerce is providing. So you have, there is a large platform. The idea of any exporter should be, how do they get market? How do they get importers? And how do they get support in terms of developing competencies? The schemes coming back to ACI is kind of a scheme once again. They can come and go. The schemes have always been a perishable commodity, as I'll say, perishable incentives. They are for a shelf life. After 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, they are bound to go. Something more can come up. Besides this, also there could be something which we are not able to think through right now, but option is open. In that context, I must mention that very recently, foreign trade policy 2023 was announced. It's a kind of vision document, and for the first time in the country, the foreign trade policy has come without any end date. It's not a 5-year policy, unlike previous years. So any change, anything which is justifiable, which is accountable, and where Ministry and Ministry of Finance can, correlate the growth of exports and the incentives given. If they could correlate, they are willing to give certain incentives, but definitely not in the format of SEIs. So for that also, I would request everyone with whom I am interacting right now, and when I'll be interacting in future as well, to please, even if you're not participating in any event, but take this organization as your own, where you can raise issues, concern, you can put forward your suggestions at any point of time, and that we will be taking it up with the Ministry of Commerce. We had a meeting on 19th of April with Commerce Minister, about 100 industry representatives from the services sector were identified. Ministry had to screen that. So many of you may not have been aware of it, but I'm sharing this. They all participated. And the idea was to draw up a planned calendar, a strategy for the next 5 years, midterm, long term, and short term. And there, in every sector, the idea was since industry knows better than any institutions, how much is export potential, what could be the potential market in times to come, what kind of challenges one would face right now and one might be facing in future, what kind of competition, what kind of benefits you want, what kind of incentives you want for commerce or any other ministry to support, what kind of taxation issues would be there. So, you need to provide us those inputs to take it forward. So this is the given context. So SEPC is there to provide you services, as I mentioned, trade intelligence, export development, export promotion activities, and enabling business environments. And there are a lot of schemes and incentives under AMI to support most of these activities. Based on your input, we can do wonders together. So this is what I have to say. And I can take the liberty of running through the presentation, which is, of course, has almost covered everything, but just to, reinforce my point of view, if you allow me. Let me just share the screen or. Can you all see the screen? Just about, I'm struggling to. I hope my presentation is there. Anyone can answer? Fair enough. So. You see, this is what I have just mentioned. And like the sectors what we cover. I just mentioned about it, like as an exporter, what you basically require are these four, maybe more, but the fundamentals, policy, favorable policy, incentives, handholding in terms of whatever support ministry can extend and our organization can provide, market opportunities and wire, which is the foremost requirement. I have mentioned like, these are the support you can expect. Sharing information, providing assistance. We are collecting the data, bilateral trade data also, and services sector is having a lot of issues on data. We are only relying right now with RBI data, but there has been a technical committee set up under the ministry, and they have come up with a report where we are trying to develop a system where for every sector we should have specific data. As I talked about trade intelligence, what is a market opportunity based on that analysis? In merchandise sector, it is very simple. In services sector, it is actually a very difficult exercise, and more so when we have 4 modes of exports and services. Handholding new exporters, settling dispute, that is also the service we are going to develop. Recognition and award, will be hearing about it very soon. Online services. Now here, something like on our portal, if you visit, we have created certain windows, and I'm requesting it that unlike previous years where we only had very limited contact details, please please complete your profile. Not when you are, getting the membership, but detailed profile of your company, because that is being circulated globally. Our embassies are also taking note of it. And based on whatever services we are going to offer, you will be getting trainees directly. We are developing this, and I'm requesting, it's a personal request to everyone. Please take this as an opportunity. It may not be giving you business right next day, but that is also a kind of exercise to complement your efforts. We are going to create some technology centers where ideas could be exchanged. Incubation center, we are going to have something on the startups very soon. We'll be announcing. So that support can be given. Social media for better reach. When we talk about social media or market outreach, brand building, it is not only about SEPC. It is, when we say SEPC, it means you. It means who are with us. If all our members are having their profile, robust profile on our portal, So when we are reaching out to the global market space through digital media, it is you who are reaching out. So please take note of it. Partnering with the states. The states have also come up with various incentive plan with various policies relating to services. So your integration with us will help us to integrate you with states incentives. Information global tariff, harnessing e-commerce potential that we are developing, and there is a specific chapter this year in foreign trade policy, offering guidelines, mapping the supply chain, focusing on the standards and quality. Today itself, I had a very detailed discussion with Quality Council of India. And in case of product, quality can be very much defined. In case of services, it is very much amorphous in nature. Very difficult to define the quality, but still there are parameters. There are standards set. And we are talking with PCI, we are talking with BSI, BIS, and that can help you to enhance the quality of your delivery of the services, quality of the services. Here, say for example, Education Institute or EduTech, what kind of quality parameters they should have for a global conference. So those inputs we are going to provide. At the same time, we are also going to institute awards on quality and standards. So wait and you'll hear very soon. Adding to export basket, like if you are already doing certain services, what potential other services you can diversify? Those ideas can be, that depends on the networking interaction, what we can continuously do. Creating digital store outside also, out of the country also. A lot of showrooms are there outside where merchandise products are displayed in the embassy. We are also trying to create a kind of, participate in digital stores outside. For example, in case of entertainment sector, a lot of IPs are there. How do we showcase those IPs outside? It will be through digital stores. Developing hybrid marketing model will be coming. Metaverse is a concept, and that is we are going to integrate very soon in our activity. This, all those services, name anything, it's there. And here listed services are about 50, 12 on the other side, and 15 on your right side, but on your left side. But there are approximately 21 plus services on DGAP portal. If you're going there to register yourself as a member, you'll find those details there. Now, this is what I was talking about. We are creating brand India as India source in services. And in the first part, you see India source trade with India. This is for overseas business players whom we would like to, if they want to trade with India, they can look for this particular space where your details are submitted, where your brief profile and detailed profile are also submitted. This will be more visible space outside, and we are exploring a lot of opportunities to create visibility for this. But the success of this will lie on the data what we provide. Explore global business opportunities. Now, even if you are a member or not non-member, you just need to fill up this form. Members definitely will have more visibility, but fill this form. Accordingly, this will be also shared with our embassies overseas. They can direct or divert the traffic what they could get onto this. They can go in direct or contact with you. Likewise, submit your trade inquiries. Here we are talking about you. Even if you are not, you have filled up your profile, everything, but at least on any given day, you can just put that you are going to offer, we'll connect you with, here we are getting the trade inquiries from outside submitted by the embassies and just a trade inquiry. So as a member, you have access to this page. The last one, here we are asking overseas companies also to fill up their detail. In the first part of my discussion, I mentioned about inviting overseas business visitors to India. And, being a part of previous council, earlier I was at Pharma, and I'm having a lot of experience with my colleagues and others in this business of inviting overseas delegates, a lot of screening is required because government is paying for them. So we should have serious international players, the serious importers who actually want to do business, not come as a visitor. So they need to be screened. And in pharma sector, we could collect more than 30,000 details of importers, along with their passport detail, along with their number of employees, and one could screen. Similar thing can be done here, and we have already initiated the exercise. For inviting overseas business people, we are collecting their profile. That profile will be made available to you. And this is a massive exercise, but this will remain incomplete if we don't have your profile as well. So make use of this 4 important component of business connect. We are also asking our embassies overseas to have this, to be hyperlinked with their portal. So that is also going to come very soon. Now, this scheme market access initiative I did mention, some of them are here, and this will be on my portal where you can avail. As I mentioned in the beginning, if you are participating in any overseas exhibition, government has given us the mandate of, they will take care of 65% of the cost of participation, 35% to 40% we have to raise from the industry. And, this is important when serious participation comes through fee-based services only. But besides that, government will provide you the reimbursement of airfare. Now that is a threshold there. This is it. 70,000 for any international event you are traveling outside. For Latin America and America, that is 1 lakh rupees, based on submission of certain document. There was a question on this, that how many such events one can participate. Earlier, there was a limitation of 2 to 3. The policy is under revision, and there will be various more. So in each market, at least once you can participate. So if somebody is participating in VIPCOM, they can avail this benefit. And if the same company is also participating in a business delegation in any region, they can get that opportunity. So it also depends how you prioritize your market. So there is an optimum benefit being given to the exporter. Now, I mentioned about RBSN. Here, 100% airfare and hotel charges for foreign buyers are being given up to 75% and 1 lakh from North and South America. Now, this is the benefit we are extending. The ministry is extending for overseas buyer to come here. So your cost of participation goes down. You don't have to travel. You just need to register yourself with the event, as I mentioned, either Global Exhibition Services or Atithi or Sanjeevani. For educational sector, we are going to come up with an international exhibition like this called Gyan Ashram right now. Name can change. For entertainment sector also, NTech will be doing. But this year, we are taking care of all these sectors other than travel and tourism and healthcare under GS, Global Exhibition Services. Likewise, display in international departmental stores. So we are looking for some digital stores also. There the government is providing, but this is a collective participation. Unless we have the minimum number of players, say 13, 15, 20, government will only give the funding support for certain years. Publicity campaign, when we have to take a branding campaign outside, the government is willing to provide us the assistance of up to ₹5 crore. But it is also based on some amount coming from your end also. They require certain critical mass of the participant. So, for example, if you are talking about branding campaign for Incredible India, for example, government is going to provide us the benefit, but certain participation, in terms of if you are developing some catalog or if you are developing a portal, something like that, whatever branding campaign, some portion of the cost needs to be covered by the ministry, by the participants, 90 to up, government can give us up to 90%. The very famous campaign, the Pharmacy of the World, Brand India Pharma campaign, which I had undertaken. That campaign was funded under the Brand India campaign, a publicity campaign. This can also be, when we are talking about global exhibition of services in India, we can take certain services, education or health care, we can organize a bigger event outside in any given market, in export, in exhibition format with B2B format, and the ministry can fund under this. But that requires a minimum critical participation numbers for the ministry to take care of that. Catalog I have already mentioned. Research and development, here also like it has to be done through the council. Capacity building, as I mentioned, the government is also funding, but these are very limited participation. But if you have got something on the quality certification, some labs if you want to create, or some common design center, depending if it is IT related, please let us know. The government is ready to fund, but it has to be through the council only. Likewise, market studies, developing portal, that is through the council only. And this portal, of course, not yet being supported by the ministry, but as we grow more in numbers, ministry can support. One very important part, this part, a reimbursement of statutory compliances. And I got to know that, say for example, in Oman, somebody mentioned to me that if education institutes have to operate over there to attract the Omanis to India, the government has got certain fee which are required to be paid. Now that fee an institution is going to pay as a part of the government fee, as a part of a statutory fee. Ministry of Commerce is going to reimburse that cost, and you see the kind of limit they have fixed, ₹2 crore per exporter per annum. Pharma industry has been the biggest beneficiary of this scheme. For any market authorization, they have to have the mandatory market registration. They have to pay certain registration fee to the government in the destination country. EPC for certain product. In case of medical devices, in case of coffee, in some countries there are mandatory registration requirements. In case of fisheries product, there are requirements. So government is funding that, and this goes directly into the account of the exporter, provided they submit their document through the council. Now, in services sector, no one has yet availed this benefit. We are not aware much because the council, unfortunately, also focused on ACIs. So we are not aware. Now it is up to you to tell us that in certain country, in order to, say for example, in order to have a business opportunity, avail a business opportunity in say medical value tourism, in teleconsultancy or telemedicine, if there are certain mandatory requirement in terms of the payment to the government to make you eligible to do that export, to do that, to offer that service, government is going to provide you that benefit. So this is something which is very, very important, and given the diverse nature of the services sector, please avail this. We are not aware of much of ideas and input in this. This is for you. And this is the service, this is being given at the individual level. Here, government is not requiring a critical mass. Any one of you who are incurring that cost should get this benefit, but the paper has to be processed by the council. You need to send us the document. Unfortunately, because of no history behind, we don't have, the checklist of the document. The government only tries to make every penny spent accountable. So in pharma, in certain sectors, they have certain number of documents. which is being vetted by the embassy also, and the payment details needs to be forwarded, what kind of transactions you did through the bank. So all these things are taken into account while granting this fund. Believe me, before 2019, when I joined this council in 2020, this scheme for the services sector was not mentioned directly here. It was mentioned somewhere there. When I approached them, entire services sector is included. On the very first page of this MAI scheme, they have mentioned about all the services sector with a point that any other also can be incorporated if not mentioned. So this is a huge scheme. Unfortunately, nobody knew. And this is an opportunity you have all given me to talk about it. So this is what I could share about MAI. I have already mentioned about Ministry of MSME. Likewise, please log on to DGFT portal or our portal for registration fee and other things. But more than that, remain associated with us in any way. And this is what all I have to say. Thank you so much for the patience. Thanks. Anyone can raise a question once again if I fail to answer during the course of discussion.
Questions?
Yeah, please. No, they can raise hand and ask.
Okay, kindly raise your hand, whoever asked.
Give the right to everyone.
That's right, yeah.
Give the rights to him, or there, not much. We are unmuting everyone, so please raise this. Raise your concerns or any other point, any additional point you would like to.
ये वाला option है.
अब सबके वेबिनार मोड में, सॉरी सेमिनार मोड. Yeah, there is a hand raised by anyone.
Mr. Anurag, you may ask your question, please.
Yes, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for providing all these inputs. I mean, I had come with a specific query of SEIS benefits, but I'm here to realize that what all benefits are available in terms of growing business, because like you said, the idea is not to get any subsidy, but to grow business. And there are so many tools which we are not aware of. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And I hope
Thank you so much. In fact, I feel so
I
happy
hope these
that
sessions continues and
we are continuing. I'm
grow.
making it weekly. I'm making it weekly. So
I will look
every
forward
week-
to joining all the sessions.
Please, that's a great encouragement.
And only one request, if at times we can do industry specific sessions, because
There is a
I'm
plan.
sure there's
Absolutely,
plethora of information to be shared.
Yes,
That'll
yes,
be helpful.
absolutely. We are going to do that.
Thank you so much.
Today in the morning itself, we were discussing that after 2-3 sessions like this, we'll go industry specific. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Anybody can
Thank you
ask.
so much. Yeah, thanks. What we are going to do is we'll be sharing this with everyone, the presentation, and the recording is also available. Abhishek, make this available on the portal. Okay, link, provide the link, and they all can listen to it. And you all can raise a question at any point of time. I'm, along with me, my colleagues, 24/7, we are there. I'm just a phone call away. If somehow I'm unable to answer, definitely I'll call back and you can leave the message as well. So we are there for you only. We exist because of it.
Anybody who is attending the webinar may ask a question directly. You are unmuted.
Hello,
So
sir.
we-
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Gaurav, please.
Yes,
You
I'm
wanted to ask.
a partner of GT and Company LLP. Thanks for the wonderful session, sir. I just want to know what are our roadmap for accounting, auditing, and financial consultancy industry. And I am interested in joining more event internationally. So, do we have any road plan for participating in international events? Which is
Yeah, in fact, yes, Mr. Gaurav, in fact, you rightly mentioned, there we identified one exhibition called Accountex in London. But of course, like we had to wait for the requisite number of participants, and first week, I believe, 6 or 7, something like that. Last year we had done some Reiki. Because of lack of participant, we could not do. But we have taken business delegation to Africa. 4 or 5 companies were there from the accounting sector. So roadmap remains the same. Next year we are going to have some exhibitions in the accounting sector. I would request you to provide us certain platforms in international market where we should go. That is one. Second roadmap, we are in the process of signing or negotiating various FTAs. Like ECTA just happened with Australia. And as you know, for bookkeeping and accounting, Australia is having a huge opportunity. There were certain regulatory issues also. I think that has also been addressed. Last year, we were a partner of the ministerial delegation just after signing the ECTA. Now, based on that, India is signing, negotiating FTA with EU, with Canada as well, with various other markets. If you have input, provide us, because that is going to help this sector. So that is also a roadmap. And a lot of interactive programs could be organized. Besides that, we are taking business delegations in various markets. You are welcome to participate in that.
And sir, one more point. I just want some support for visa clearance and other formalities.
We don't have any issue in that. You just need to send a letter to us.
Okay. Okay.
The detail. And that is even if you are going on your own and you're seeking some meeting with the embassy and their support, you just need to write to us.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What I request everyone, anyone else?
Dr. Abhay,
Yes.
this is Ankur here.
Yeah, Ankur, please.
I had a request. There was an initiative of SEPC called NTech,
Yes.
which hasn't happened in the last few years. So if that could be looked into it, it is a beautiful RBSM for our industry.
Ankur, it's a very important point you have raised. In fact, we had the approval from the ministry last year. But you see, if we need to have this on the very cost-effective manner. So there was a lot of, the cost had gone up. And because of the COVID, we could not do it. And this year, ministry wants us to do GS at the mega scale. So in GS, we are having NTech as an integral part this year. And they have asked us to have it separately in the next financial year. So NTech is very much on the agenda. But this time being a part of GS.
Thank you, sir.
Because of G20, they wanted to align.
Sure, sir. And
Okay.
as MII Media and Entertainment Association of India will be happy to extend all support.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just a while back before this interaction, I had a very detailed discussion with Hira Chandji from London. He connected. So he's taking care of the sector. So we had a very detailed discussion on entertainment sector on Bitcoin, and something you'll be hearing very soon from our side.
Fantastic.
We are developing a roadmap for 5 years with Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So those details will be shared.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. So what I request everyone, please take note of the presentation. You are free to write to me, write to my colleagues, and I'm there to answer you at your service.
Sir, can you?
Hello, where? Yeah, please. I can take this.
Sir, this is Gaurav Malhotra. So just wanting to know, sir, similarly as the question on accountancy services were concerned, if you can elaborate something on the legal services, because this is one sector which is not it's more concerned with India specific practices. So what is the kind of avenues or things which are available for overseas exports of services?
Yes, in fact, in legal service, I will be looking for more inputs from your end. What I can suggest is that we, when we undertook this business delegation, which was a multi-sectoral delegation, and we don't have a ceiling that from a given sector only 5 or 10 companies will be there. It could be many companies. So we had 1 or 2 legal sector related companies also going. and they had good business opportunities in Africa. Likewise, legal process outsourcing, that's definitely, and a lot of arbitration work, which I feel should come to India. So those are the areas we are looking at. But any international event in terms of exhibition, I don't have any knowledge about it because so far we have not focused on this particular sector. But please let us know. Trade delegations in global exhibition on services, we are there. Like you can participate, you can talk about certain sessions we can do, which could be export specific. One more piece of information. Now we have also got, there was one deputy secretary in Ministry of Commerce looking at MAI scheme. He has now gone to Ministry of Legal Affairs. So I'm going to have a meeting with them on Monday. So maybe some more ideas I can share separately on the legal sector.
That will be wonderful. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Hi Abhishek, Lokesh Prashar here from the Federation of Buying Agents.
Hi Lokesh, good to have you. Yeah,
All good. So today my office actually called, and as you know, we have a hosted buyer program at the Federation where we invite buyers to India and we pay for the travel incentives. We would like to extend the travel agency business to any of the travel companies who are SEPC members.
Okay.
We have a upcoming trip of around 15 buyers in August, where we also need hotel stays, inbound travel ticketing, and the sightseeing. It's like 7 days trip for all the buyers and
that I'll request like anyone who is interested can directly contact you. And
yeah, so if we can get maybe the Federation can send an email to SEPC and you can spread to the travel companies who are members of SEPC. It's anyway business given from the member to a member. So I think it will be a good synergy of business happening on SEPC platform. What do you think?
This is something very tricky, to be very frank, because here it is about marketing one agency. Because you see, and that is also not to attract the inbound tourism. It is mainly made for outside. So I leave it up to the participants here to take a call.
Okay. I will take it offline. Maybe somebody who's already managing your travel, we can take help of that company itself because you already are doing business with them. But I'll take it offline with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone, and please remain connected with us. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Shall we close the webinar, sir?